You know, 5 years goes fast when you're doing something you love. 5 years of being right there with you, in your car, in your kitchen, at work, in your earbuds. And we don't take that for granted, not for a second. When it came time to celebrate our 5th anniversary, we knew it had to mean something. And we're celebrating on the most fitting day there is, Juneteenth. We're still putting the finishing touches on something really special. And before we tell the world, we want to tell you first. Once we announce this event publicly, we expect that seats are going to go fast, really fast. So, go to our website right now at KBLA1580.com and sign up to make sure you're the very first to hear what we've got planned. Before we go public with all the details, you've been riding with us. It's only right you're first to know. KBLA1580.com. We'll see you on Juneteenth for our 5th anniversary banger. Banger, banger, banger.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes 2 to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Today I want to talk about what to do when we feel stuck in therapy. And I'll be honest here, as a therapist, I know that I feel better when my patients are improving and moving along towards their goals. That's really why I do what I do. Therefore, I understand how frustrating and disheartening it can be to seek out help and be working on ourselves, but not feel like we're getting anywhere. And I have even on occasion worried that maybe I'm not doing my job correctly, or that I'm not a good fit for my patient. There is just so much to unpack here. And I've heard from many of you that you've gone through this or you're currently going through it. So let's get into it. First of all, know that there will always be times in therapy when we feel stuck, or as if we're sliding back into old unhealthy behaviors. But like I've always said, it's a process, not perfection. So don't think that your stagnancy means you can't or won't get better. It just means that you're human and that we have to figure out why it's happening and work to overcome it. So let's get into 6 ways to overcome that stuck feeling. And number 1 is, you guessed it, talk about it in therapy. Like I'm always saying, therapy is a great place to practice our communication skills. And if we don't feel like we're getting any better or aren't finding therapy to be very helpful, it's perfectly okay to bring this up. You could just say something like, you know, I just haven't felt like the homework you're giving me is really helping. Or I just don't feel like I'm getting any better, even though I've been coming in week after week for quite a few months now. Do what you can to bring it up, and know that your therapist won't think you're being hurtful or anything like that. Therapy is your time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason back in the building. What another thought-provoking conversation. It's important to have these discussions, and I invite you all in to participate. Now, you guys know I'm a big advocate of therapy, especially at the hands of healing Black women, right? When you got a sister that's a therapist that has engaged in her own individuation work and is tapped into her spirit, boy, she could be invaluable, right? To you, unlocking, those knots within yourself. So don't take this as a slight against therapy. But let me ask, did your therapist lie to you? Knowing your pattern is making it worse. The therapist gave you vocabulary. Your wound is slick. Your wound knows how to weaponize that vocabulary in order to stay where it's at. Now, it sounds, right, aware. It sounds healed. I'm talking about the wound. Sounds healed. Sound aware. This is why people get stuck, right? In therapy. They feel like they're not changed. They think the therapist is supposed to change them. No. No, if you're not embodying, right, this process. Embodiment isn't buying a book. Wait, the new book is on sale. Let me tell you. Embodying what's in the book. That's the key, right? If you're not installing the information somatically, installing it into your body, then you're just good at articulating what your problem is. It's articulation versus installation, somatic installation. Did your therapist lie to you? Knowing your pattern is making it worse. Can you manage, maintain, or control your pattern into a state of unconditional love? Wait a minute, hold on, Zoe. Yeah. A lot of self-help work, coaches, all of that stuff. They're teaching you how to manage. They're not teaching you how to break free of that hidden mechanism that's running everything, that hidden control center that's running everything. Is modern day therapy just full of tools to manage your wound instead of healing it and expelling it outright? Can you manage, maintain, or control your wound into a state of unconditional love? I'm interested to know. I want to know what you think. Did you have a good experience with your therapist? Right? Did your therapist help you break through? Was it a sister? Was it a man? Was it a woman? Were they Black or white? Were they Latina? Were they Asian? I want to know if the cultural lens affects the quality of the therapy. I want to know. Right? There is a $48.4 billion industry that runs on a single premise. That understanding yourself is the same as changing yourself. Oh, Lord. You can understand yourself all day in America and still not change. Hold on. You can understand what the problem is, but that understanding is not the key to changing. Application, embodiment, the somatic download is what's going to transform you, not the sophisticated lingo that you picked up on the couch. Listen, there's a $48.4 billion business industry that runs on a single premise, that understanding yourself is the same as changing yourself. On tonight's Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, you already know how we do. We're going to dismantle that premise with a scalpel, clinically, neurologically, philosophically, psychologically, and spiritually. Because the data, the research, and 2,000 years of human initiation science all say the same thing. They say the premise is a lie. Knowing what your issue is merely the map. Oh, you gotta walk it. Yes, as Alfred Korzybski, master linguist, said, the map is not the territory. Oh, I can articulate what's wrong with me. I'm dismissive, avoidant. I tend to pull away. I tend to run. Oh, I'm anxious. I tend to change. Oh, yeah, we can articulate it. But have we downloaded the solutions that the therapist has given you? Well, maybe they didn't lie. Maybe you misused the information. What? 2,000 years of human history say the premise is a lie. And the lie is costing people their relationships, their nervous system, and their lives. Welcome to the scene of the conversation, the voice of reason. I'm Zoe Williams, your host tonight. And we open up the phone lines because we want you to participate. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. We go to war with the self-help industry. I wonder, are they teaching you to embody the wisdom of psychology or the wisdom of philosophy? I'm very interested. I want to know. 1-800-920-1580. Right? Look at that. $48.4 billion in 2024, projected to reach $90.9 billion in 2034, that 10-year gap. Those are not numbers that describe a crisis being solved. Those are numbers that describe a crisis being monetized. This is the therapy industry, the self-help industry. Right? Andy, have you been to a therapist before? Have you been to a therapist before, Andy? No? I'm telling you, it's happening, man. Yeah, because here's the data point the industry never puts into a brochure. Only 9% of people who make self-improvement commitments follow through on them. Is that the therapist's fault? I don't think so. Right? Self-work is difficult. That means the industry has a 91% failure rate and is projecting financial growth, though. Right? That is a dependency model. And the most damning indictment comes from one of its own critics, researcher Steve Solinero. That's him. Solinero documented that 80% of self-help customers are repeat customers. They keep coming back whether the program worked for them or not. This is not recovery, this is a subscription. Do you know somebody who's been in therapy for 10 years with the same therapist? I do. I know therapists who have clients 10, 11, 12 years. Are y'all just friends at this point? I'm just asking. Are y'all homies now? Or can you rely on that money from that session? Sheesh. Man. Right? You want the philosophy, right? The philosophically precise version. Okay, listen to Katrin Schultz, right? The underlying theory of the self-help industry is contradicted by the self-help industry's existence. Read it again. The underlying theory of the self-help industry is contradicted by the self-help industry's existence. The very existence of the industry as a permanent fixture proves it is not doing what it claims to do. If it were producing transformation, it would be producing its own obsolescence. Dang, what? Instead, it grows. Wait a minute. Are you telling me, Zoe, that the wound and the maintenance of the wound is actually the business? The wound is the product? Can't heal the wound. If I heal you, I'll be out of business. Is that how it works? Maybe for some. But it has been my experience that the sisters that I've met, Mayumi McKinley, Dr. McCall, Pakoya, right? Dr. P. McCall, my god sister, Dr. Jashana Johnson, Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, right? I know a bunch of. It has been my experience that sisters who are dedicated to their craft can actually help you navigate yourself. But apparently that is not the purpose of the industry. 91% failure rate. Yet projected in the next 10 years, what, $90 billion? That's interesting, right? Let's get clinical. Because this is where the self-awareness industry's core assumption collapses at the cellular level. Your amygdala, the brain's primary threat detection and emotional response system, fires in milliseconds, right? It is fast, automatic, and unconscious. It does not wait for your prefrontal cortex to finish its TED talk about your attachment style. It just acts. Neuroscience has confirmed what many martial arts philosophers knew centuries ago, before the lab caught up. The body completes the pattern before the mind issues the instructions. The limbic system does not run on your narrative. What? It runs on your encoded survival data that was installed long before you had the language to describe what was going on. Babette Rothschild. The body remembers. She cited in her trauma research, right? They documented this stuff. Traumatic experiences are not merely psychological events. They are profoundly embodied phenomena stored throughout the nervous system and the somatic system long after the trauma event has passed. Are they teaching us this? Why aren't they teaching us this? Should we be breaking free of the therapist as well? Shouldn't the therapist be preparing us to leave their care? Listen, when I come forward, the voice of reason gonna keep the fire lit. Let's get it.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. It's your last chance to get exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 35% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The midterm elections are upon us. It is voting season once again. Common Cause's motto is fighting for the democracy we deserve. In service of that goal, Common Cause puts its state and national policy expertise, massive network of grassroots supporters, and nonpartisan approach into action to strengthen our democracy against the challenges we face today. They work at every level of government on priorities that impact each of our lives, like defending the right to vote, limiting big money's influence on our elections, holding public officials accountable, and more. Common Cause is a nonpartisan grassroots organization dedicated to upholding the core values of American democracy. They seek to empower all people to make their voices heard in the political process. This election may be the most important one ever. If you'd like to make a donation or volunteer in service to the Constitution, please visit commoncause.org. That's commoncause.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
This may come as some surprise, but I miss you. I can see through all of your lies, but still I miss you. He takes her love, but it doesn't feel like mine. He tastes her kiss. Her kisses are not mine, they're not mine. He takes, but surely she can't give what I'm feeling now. She takes, but surely she doesn't know.
Why I hate therapy. Yes, big claim, trigger warning. I'm in the healing space. I help people heal trauma, overcome limitations, do inner work. So therapeutic work, I'm a huge fan of. But there's a reason I hate some forms of it, because of what it does to people and how it keeps people stuck for years and decades. And I've coached over 10,000 people. I have thousands of testimonials to show what this does or how to overcome this. I have testimonials of clients. They come to me and tell me they've been doing 30 years of therapy and they are yet to address the root cause. And then I take care of it in one session. So I'm going to explain to you the difference
Hey, you're not
of
Superman.
how to actually do integration work of addressing the root cause, unlike a lot of types of therapy. Now, disclaimer, if therapy is helping you, keep doing it. If it's serving you, keep doing it. But if you're like a lot of people that go down traditional therapy or talk therapy routes or other forms of therapy, very often you just perpetuate the same problems. You just talk about the same problems and you never solve the root cause.
Okay.
Before I get into the details
Who is that? His problem is talk therapy. And okay. Louis Huckstep. Okay. Okay. Talk therapy, yeah, you can wind up talking in circles. Got it. Who did it come from? I think that was Freud, right? Sure. Freud himself wasn't even a therapist. He wasn't even a psychologist. But he created talk therapy. But there are some somatic forms like EMDR, right? There are some that get into the nuts and bolts. The point of the matter is, if all you're doing is talking and then not taking that conversation and embodying the work, then all you've done is become more articulate at what's wrong with you. So he was talking about he doesn't like therapy because of what it does to people. First off, the therapist, the psychologist, let's just say the clinician psychologist, is the Western version, the Western educated version of a shaman. Because you're trying to look into somebody. The Western educated version of a guru, of a seer, right? But the clinical piece is like rooted on many different, pieces here, but it's rooted in attachment theory, it's rooted in mental processes, behavioral processes. So it's not as mystical, right, as the philosophical shaman, right? So when you're dealing with a therapist, they can point at things based off of their observation of you. They can point at things. They can point at solutions. But just like when dealing with a guru, guess what? Whose work is it ultimately to do? Is it the therapist? Well, why would you blame the therapist? Yeah, and trust me, there are some bad therapists, right? But to put it just squarely on all the therapy is bad because of what it does to people. I think people have their fair share, right, in the responsibility of a session either working or not working. Did your therapist lie to you? Carl Jung, the architect of the shadow framework, right, that an entire industry has since watered down into Instagram content, was explicit. His exact formulation: until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Is that the therapist's responsibility? Making your unconscious conscious, or yours? The therapist can point at it. The clinician can say, listen, you're not addressing something. You're not dealing with something. And then they point it out and you don't do anything about it. Did they lie to you? Is therapy working because they are somehow inept? Or are you dropping the ball on their instructions? When we come forward, the voice of reason gonna keep the fire lit.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. A strike is no longer happening in Los Angeles schools. Black Mayor Karen Bass announced Los Angeles Unified School District and Service Employees International Union Local 99 reached a tentative agreement overnight, avoiding a walkout by about 30,000 support staff.
Dedicated workers care for our children every day.
Other school unions also reached deals so schools across the district will stay open. The New Orleans City Council is voting on whether to keep IV waste handling trash pickup in the French Quarter through 2027. The company won a legal fight last year against Henry Consulting, the contractor preferred by former Black Mayor LaToya Cantrell's administration, but a pending lawsuit could still reopen the door for another contractor. And France may block rapper Kanye West from performing there after the UK barred him from entering. Officials are reportedly trying to stop his planned June 11th show in Marseille, with the city's mayor also speaking out against it. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, host of The Voice of Reason, weeknights at 7 p.m. here on KBLA Talk 1580, with a personal invitation for you to join me and Insight.me as we present The Healing Box, live at Inglewood's world-famous Miracle Theater, Saturday evening, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Look, I understand. Your attachment style has been running your life like a rogue algorithm, and nobody has had the courage to press pause. Until now, Dr. Bakoya McCall and yours truly are curating a night where clinicians, spiritualists, and an all-star panel of Black woman healers like Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, Dr. Jashana Johnson, and spiritualist Precious McGill will join some amazing spoken word artists and the legendary comedian Louis Dix to diagnose, disrupt, and heal your relational wreckage in real time. Listen, bring your trauma. As a matter of fact, bring your baby mama. No, bring your testimony. And if you're still texting your ex at 2 a.m., baby, you're not just invited, you're the target demo. Tickets are moving fast, so grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before your dating history gets flagged as a pre-existing condition. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you there Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Yo, it's Zoe Williams, the VOR, and I know you're tired of pretty gems with pretty lies, where people seem to scroll more than they sweat. Well, it's time to level up. Welcome to Huff and Puff, where excuses die and champions rise. Smack dab at 1221 North La Brea on the corner of Fairview. This ain't a photo shoot, it's a battleground. Certified achievers in the game. Trainers who grind with you, not post pictures beside you. Whether you're chasing your next personal record or just trying to outrun your past, this is your sanctuary of sweat. No mirrors, no filters, no fluff, just pain, passion, and purpose. Stop talking, start training, huff hard, puff loud, be legendary. Where folks go to war with their weaknesses. Huff and Puff.
What if your rooftop could earn you money every year? With LADWP's Solar Rooftops program, you can get solar panels installed and maintained on your home at no cost and earn up to $900 a year. That's up to $18,000 over 20 years. There are no upfront costs, no credit checks, and no annual fees. Plus, you'll help power Los Angeles with clean local solar energy and reduce reliance on fossil fuels. Make your rooftop work for you. Apply today at ladwp.com/solar rooftops.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The BLM Center for Black Power is a hub for Black activism in the city of Los Angeles, a standalone nonprofit affiliated with Black Lives Matter LA. The venue is home to live events, meetings, and organizing drives for Black-led community-based organizations. It is also the base of operations for Black Lives Matter LA. Built on what used to be a nuisance property owned by an arms dealer, the BLM Center for Black Power is in the heart of Leimert Park and has opened its doors to everything from youth organizers to toy drives to film screenings and community town hall meetings. To make a donation or make a request, please visit blmla.org. That's blmla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah.
We're
California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Flashbacks of the times we've had. Some made us laugh, and some made us sad. We used to break up to make up. All the fun that came from those love games. Oh, when I think I need someone new, no, it just won't do. Because I think about you, baby, from beginning to end. 365 days of the year, I want the same old loving, baby. All I wanna do is keep on loving you. I want the same old love.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel, Become the Disruptor. My name is Magda. I'm a trauma-informed therapist. And today we're going to be talking actually about therapy and how we need to bring therapeutic and psychological models into the 21st century so they can start finally become actually effective for people and be and acting actually in accordance with the newest neuroscience and actual our biology, because the therapeutic models and psychological models, a lot of them are actually keeping people stuck. So if you had been stuck in a therapy for years and you had been, sitting in your therapist's chair and then wake up 3 years later and nothing has changed, then this video is actually for you, because I'm going to address the reasons why that happens, why the industry is obsolete and absolutely dated, and why it needs to catch up with the neuroscience. And I'm going to give you the neuroscience and the neurobiological facts about what is actually happening. So when you're coming to a therapeutic setting, you're setting up a relationship with your therapist, people have to understand one thing, that you can talk all you want, but talking will not lead you to a transformation. Talking is part of the transformation, but it's not a transformation itself. The only thing that's going to lead you to transformation is action. And the action is not going to be done by your therapist. The action has.
Oh, no. She was cooking. Yes.
In the therapeutic industry and why.
No, but she said the work, the action that needs to be taken is not going to be taken by your therapist. And I made that same point earlier when I said the modern day therapist would be like in times of antiquity, that would be your guru, right? That would be the medicine man, but the medicine man for the mind, right? And I'm a stand on this. I'm doing an event on May 23rd, and I'm standing on the principle that I believe when sisters are tapped into spirituality, and I'm not talking religiosity, I'm not talking dogma. When they're tapped into this integration process, this self-realization process, and they so happen to be clinicians, man, they're powerful guides. Now, a guide is not responsible for the work that needs to be done. May 23rd, 7 p.m. at the Miracle Theater, right? We are doing something called the Healing Box. I've also been an advocate of bringing the clinical and the spiritual together. I'm going to do that on the 23rd of next month. You can go to the Miracle, it's miracleinglewood.com, right? themiracleinglewood.com, and get your tickets now. It's going to be amazing. My friend, Louis Dix, legendary actor. You remember him on A Different World and working with Cosby. He was on, the Cosby Show. He was on a lot of TV shows. Louis Dix, actor and comedian, right? He's going to be there. Sonny Patterson, world-renowned spoken word artist. She will be there. And, Dr. Jashana Johnson, Avent Johnson. Let me get it right. The whole name is there, right? Of course, Wholeness Wednesdays, Precious McGill. Of course, man, I love this. I love all these sisters, man. Dr. Sunshine. I tap into her show all the time, right? Because she's tapped in not just clinically, but spiritually. And so for people who think when I say spiritual, I'm excluding Christian, she's the wife of a Christian pastor, man. The religion doesn't matter. It's tapping into the spirit. When you have sisters that could do that. And then, of course, Dr. Pacoya McCall. She will be there, man. And we're going to diagnose. We're going to interrupt. We're going to tap in. Y'all should come and ask questions. It's called the Healing Box. The Miracle Theater. It's going to be on complete fire. I want you guys to tap in. Now, back to this topic, because it's a heavy one, right? Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. That was Carl Jung. Your unconscious will direct your life and call it fate. That sentence is carved into the interior of every therapy office in the Western world. And it has been profoundly and consequently misread. The self-help industry, right, extracted the first clause, make the unconscious conscious, and declared the work finished there. Name the womb, right? You can't, it's not just naming the wound, right? Identify the pattern, claim the shadow. Claiming is not identification, right? Claiming is non-judgmental observation, presence, and leaning into the terrifying moment that you face your shadow. See, a lot of people try to make it like all these steps. It's you looking at you, the parts of you that you loathe, that you orphan, that you run from. It's leaning in without judgment. It's leaning in with empathy. Right? Right? Without criticism, right? That's very difficult. Right? So again, the self-help industry extracted the first clause, make the unconscious conscious, and declared the work finished there. Name the wound, identify the pattern, claim the shadow. But Jung, his own work, his own framework was individuation. What is individuation? You got to merge the mask, the persona, with the shadow. This is what the great theoretical physicists and Krishnamurti talked about in their book, The Ending of Time. Dr. David Bohm and Krishnamurti, when they talked about human fragmentation. I wonder where Carl Jung got individuation from, because Carl Jung was also there studying under Krishnamurti. A lot of people didn't know that, but he was there. So was Einstein, so was Aldous Huxley, so was Alan Watts. So they talked about fragmentation, this inner fragmentation. I'm going to push the shadow to the side. I'm going to present the mask, the persona, the performance. So again, Jung's own framework was you got to bring those two together. It's not a therapist's job to do that for you. It's a therapist's job to point it out and walk you through that process of looking at yourself. If you got a therapist that's worth their weight, having a session with them will be uncomfortable. Right? But again, many people in the self-help industry, and I'm talking about the self-help books and all that stuff, they're trying to, let's help people manage their wounds. Let's help people, just kind of deal with it. Because if I actually help people heal, I've lost a client. I've lost a source of income. And there are some therapists that are out there that are mercenaries in that way. If they can get you on the hook and keep you coming back week after week, maybe twice a week, you get what I'm saying? So it's not just make the conscious or the unconscious conscious, right? It's also lovingly, empathetically, non-judgmentally love the wound, the shadow. Lean in. Why is that important, Zoe? We'll find out when I come forward.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
From station to stage, LA Metro connects you to the artistic heart of Los Angeles. Celebrate this National Arts Month with Metro, exploring galleries, theaters, and cultural spaces across the city. Art isn't just where you end up, it's how you get there.
All right, folks, as we approach Liberty Island, you'll see the iconic Statue of Liberty, standing tall at over 300 feet. The torch in her hand symbolizes a beacon of hope that's held up by her very wavy arm.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. It's proven to slow GA progression and could preserve your remaining vision for longer, so you can keep seeing the world around you. Don't take Izervay if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't wait for your vision changes to progress. Ask your retina specialist about Izervay today. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. 10 Toes In serves as a mentorship and domestic violence prevention program. They support, educate, and empower couples during and after incarceration. They assist male returning citizens to re-enter society successfully and to help them maintain a healthy relationship with their romantic partner. They offer a mentorship support group for formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In teaches its Intimate Relationships 101 curriculum at male prisons throughout the state of California. They host sister support group meetings for women who are intimately involved with incarcerated and formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. To access their services or make a donation, please visit them online at 10toesin.org or find them on Facebook or Instagram. They are healing lives through relationships. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
DJ Andy on the ones and twos. Hey.
No sleep last night. Been dreaming of you. Please hold me tight. 'Cause I can't love the way that I feel. I just can't love the way that I feel. Deep in the night, you took my heart. Now danger's inside. 'Cause I can't love the way that I feel. I just can't love the way that I feel.
What makes a therapist bad? What a great question. So let's talk about this. A good therapist listens. A good therapist adapts to your needs. So what we mean by listen is, as a therapist, it's your job to take everything that you've learned and not apply 90% of it to your patient. This is the difference between a good therapist and a bad therapist. The bad therapists, in my opinion, are the ones that have learned a lot of stuff and they come in and they say, oh, look at all this stuff that I know. I will apply it to you. We're going to make you a standard fast food sandwich with no customization because this is what works. Good therapists are the ones that recognize which parts of their knowledge don't apply to this person, which parts of their knowledge need to be adapted to this person.
I love it. Who was that, Andy? That was Dr. K, Healthy Gamer. Gotcha. My niece put us up on that. Healthy Gamer, Dr. K, I'm with it. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in the voice of reason. This is the scene of the conversation. We're having a really interesting conversation about your therapist. Some therapists want to keep you on the hook and breadcrumb you wisdom and knowledge and insight about your internal process that they studied. Some people do exactly like Dr. K said, some therapists, and they tailor make their knowledge to fit your specific issue. They're great listeners, non-judgmental listeners. But imagine if you listen to what I'm about to say, because people keep asking, what's up with healing? How come we can't heal? Why do I feel stuck in therapy? Because you learn the words and not the application of the words. Imagine if you listen to what I'm about to say. 1-800-920-1580. Imagine if you take what Healthy Gamer Dr. K just said and you dealt with your shadow the way a good therapist deals with you. Imagine if you sat with your shadow and listened to it observed it, was attentive to it, right? With empathy. Imagine you. Yes, you can do this. This is you, right? This is self-love. Do you know how many people have no idea of what I'm talking about and really can't love another person because they can't have that kind of interaction with their own shadow? But there are some therapists that can walk you through that process and get you to that threshold. Do you see? Tonight's topic is one of those ones. It's heavy, right? Listen to what Murthy had to say on it. Jiddu Krishnamurti viewed traditional therapy as a potential yet limited tool that often helps individuals, conform to an unhealthy society rather than fostering radical inner transformation. Stop right there. This has been the major critique for self-help. A lot of times self-help is not confrontational to you. It's not you, hey, you get in there and deal with this. It's not, right? It's management. Let's manage the issue. We know what the issue is. We've named the issue. So now let's manage the issue so the issue doesn't take over too much. You're still a human being, right? So say it again. Krishnamurti viewed traditional therapy as a potential yet limited tool that often helps individuals conform to an unhealthy society rather than fostering inner transformation. He emphasized self-awareness and direct observation of the mind, arguing that lasting psychological freedom comes from understanding oneself without reliance on psychologists, gurus, or any type of dependency. Listen to what, do you understand? Now, psychology has come a long way since Krishnamurti was alive. He died in 86 at 90. And he sat with many prominent psychologists of the time. I had already told you, Jung studied Krishnamurti, right? So look at his perspectives on therapy and mental health. Society's sick health, right? His most famous perspective on mental health is it is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. He argued that true health is not adjusting to a dysfunctional world. This is back to the management piece that has been tagged on, right? Self-help. Let's manage the problem instead of eradicating it. When we come forward, I'm going to go even deeper. Let's go.